Alright, so I've been spending a good amount of time exploring the world of Midgard in Ragnarok X Next Generation, or ROX, or ROX as others call it. And it's been actually an interesting mix of classic Ragnarok vibes with, some updated mobile MMO features. So in today's video, I'll be sharing my experience of, playing the game, like what its features are, what to expect, and some thoughts on how it holds up overall if you're a returning player from the old days or someone completely new to the series. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so of course we're gonna start with the character creation. Character creation in ROX is actually pretty straightforward, but it's clean and works well for getting you into the game quickly. You can choose from 6 classic first job classes: Swordsman, Acolyte, Mage, Thief, Archer, and Merchant, with each of them retaining iconic roles and skills from the original game. Now the visuals lean into a polished chibi style aesthetic, which actually looks great on modern mobile displays. Animations are fluid, character designs are impressive, and the world has a soft, almost toy-like vibrance to it. Jumping into the gameplay, everything seems familiar yet convenient. Quests are tap to navigate, letting your character on a run to, objectives. Combat starts off light and fast, which is actually perfect for short sessions, but scales up with complexity as you unlock more skills and gear. The UI also deserves credit. It's uncluttered and intuitive. Movement and attack controls are neatly placed in my opinion, and the ability to switch between the classic interface and the new refreshing UI gives players more customization, and the refreshed mode even includes fast skill loadouts and smoother item access, which is definitely a must during fast-paced encounters. Now, in terms of performance and optimization, the game runs impressively well, maintaining a smooth 60 FPS even on today's mid-range and high-end smartphones. The servers are actually also strong and high capacity, so even during intense world boss encounters, lag is virtually, non-existent and latency remains consistently low. However, you might actually notice some minor frame rate drops when, a lot of players are packed into the same area, which isn't all surprising at all, since that tends to happen in most multiplayer games, especially on MMOs anyway. But for those who want an even smoother experience, the game also has an official PC version that supports up to 120 FPS, delivering a smooth gameplay even in old potato systems. Alright, so gameplay depth, class progression, combat, and system. Now this is where ROX begins to separate itself from the average mobile MMO. The class system opens up significantly as you progress. Hitting job level 50 allows you to upgrade into advanced class and later third-tier jobs. For example, a mage can become a wizard or a sage, and eventually an archmage, each with distinct skills and passives that alter your playstyles. Combat evolves too. Early enemies are simple mobs, but dungeon bosses, MVPs, and guild versus guild battles definitely demand skill rotations, gear planning, and group synergy. PvE encounters also introduce telegraphed attacks, AoEs, and support roles that actually matter. It's not super hardcore or anything, but for a mobile game, the gameplay stays engaging and keeps you on your toes. The variety of systems can feel overwhelming at first, like refining, enchanting, awakening, life skills. It's just a lot, but it's all layered over time, and each system adds incremental depth. Also, the game doesn't just allow stat boost at you. It wants you to earn them through consistent play and smart choices. At level 17, you will unlock cosmetics, and this is where ROX really lets you make your character your own. There's a ton of colorful outfits, cool accessories, and flashy mounts to choose from. Some of them can be earned through events or just by grinding, while others come from gacha pools or the cash shop. Either way, there's a ton of variety, and the cloth physics, idle poses, and little details really help your character stand out in the crowd. The game also has a pretty open, player-driven economy. Most tradable items, like rare cards or high-tier materials, can be sold on the exchange or trading system, and it works across the whole server region, which makes farming, grinding, and boss hunting feel really worthwhile, in my opinion. hitting level 23 unlocks guilds, and that's when Rocks really starts to feel, social and strategic. You see, guilds come with daily quests, buffs, base upgrades, and special gear, but the real fun kicks in with the group content. Guild versus guild battles are actually really wild in my opinion. It's not just button smashing. You've got to coordinate, capture objectives, defend towers, and keep things under control with a bunch of teammates all going at it. And the rewards? Definitely worth it. We're talking gear, materials, guild coins, not just bragging rights. If you're into leading or organizing, running a strong guild actually becomes its own kind of minigame. Also, MVP boss hunts are another highlight here. Every few hours, world bosses show up across the maps and everyone rushes to take them down. And it's definitely chaotic, competitive, and a lot of fun. Sometimes working together, sometimes it's, every party for themselves, but it always makes the game world feel really alive.
Living with the hurt of being
Long-term play, progression, monetization, and burnout potential. Here's my honest take. I could say Rocks can be super generous in some areas and kind of rough in others. Early on, the progression feels great. You level up smoothly, collect gear, join events, and you don't need to spend anything to enjoy it. But once you get deeper in, things can ramp up really fast. Refining gets expensive, enchantment starts to feel stingy, but Rocks is totally playable without spending money. Definitely. Most of the key stuff can just be grinded with time and effort. If you're willing to put in hours, you can actually hold your own in PvE and even stay competitive in PvP. But if you're aiming for top rankings, that's gonna take a crazy amount of, grind and luck. Burnout is also something to watch for. There's a lot to juggle, like dailies, board quests, life skills, events, dungeons, MVP timers, and skipping a few days can really set you back. But in my opinion though, the game's actually best when you take it at your own pace or play with guilds that's on the same wavelength, like, casual gaming. On the bright side though, once you find your groove, there's actually a ton of variety. So it doesn't always feel like a repetitive grind unless you force it to be.
I see everything
So here's my final thoughts. Ragnarok X Next Generation isn't the most revolutionary mobile MMO out there, that's for sure, but it's one of the most polished, content-rich, and community-driven ones I've played. It definitely respects the legacy of the original game while, layering on enough modern design to feel fresh. If you want a casual farming, fashion flexing, deep gear progression, or old-school boss hunting, this game definitely delivers. If you're looking for a mobile MMO that doesn't pressure you with constant PvP, lets you build at your own pace, and rewards social play, Ragnarok X Next Generation is definitely a solid pick. This game has a lot of depth to dig into that I'm sure you're gonna enjoy. So is Ragnarok X worth playing? Well, if you have a passion for classic MMORPG vibes, then definitely. Or actually, it doesn't matter if you're into classic or modern, the game's absolutely worth playing. I mean, there's a reason why the Ragnarok series or franchise has had a solid community for years now. Give it a shot, I'm sure you will enjoy it. You can go ahead and download the game now using the link in the description or the one in the pinned comment. So there you go, that was my review of Ragnarok X Next Generation. If you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Or maybe see you in Frontera. Have a great day everyone. Happy gaming.